Ladies and gentlemen, listen carefully. If you're determined to transform your life, there's no point in waiting for the stars to align or hoping the winds of fortune will blow in your favor. Real change demands more than wishful thinking. It calls for steady effort, deliberate choices, and a willingness to leave behind the comfort of old routines. Today, I want to share 5 habits that can genuinely shift the direction of your life. These aren't complicated strategies reserved for elite performers. They're accessible, practical steps you can start applying the moment you finish reading this. Embrace these habits, and you'll begin to see noticeable improvements, not in some distant, hazy future, but in a matter of weeks. Let's be clear. We live in a world that bombards us with quick fixes and overnight success stories. You might ask, can 5 simple habits really make such a difference? The answer is yes, if you commit to them wholeheartedly. Each habit I'm about to describe is a building block. Alone, it might seem small, but together, they form a strong foundation capable of supporting the life you truly desire. Instead of grand gestures or dramatic leaps, you're going to focus on consistent, meaningful steps forward. Let's dive into these 5 habits and explore why they're so powerful. Habit 1, begin with one habit. To build consistency, most people fail to change because they aim too high, too fast. Maybe you've done this before. You decide that starting tomorrow, you'll overhaul your entire morning routine, hit the gym daily, quit all junk food, start meditating for an hour, and read a new book every week. It sounds inspiring at first, but within days, sometimes even hours, you're overwhelmed. Your old habits fight back hard, and you end up reverting to your previous comfort zone, disappointed and frustrated. Real, lasting change doesn't work like that. The key is to pick just one new habit to introduce into your day. Keep it simple. Perhaps it's reading 10 pages of a self-improvement book each morning before Dorch. Berkshire Bartrundi. Biditrabi. Maybe it's waking up 15 minutes earlier to map out your priorities for the day. Or you could begin by drinking a large glass of water first thing in the morning to energize yourself. Whatever you choose, make sure it's something you can do consistently, even on tough days. By focusing on one habit at a time, you're making it easier for yourself to succeed. After a week or 2, this small change will start feeling natural. Once it's firmly in place, you'll have the confidence to add a second habit, then a third, and so on. This approach builds momentum. Each small victory reassures you that you can shape your life through deliberate choices. Over time, these minor adjustments compound, creating a powerful ripple effect that touches every area of your life. You don't need to conquer everything at once. Conquer one thing at a time, and you'll be amazed at how far you can go. Habit 2, prioritize small, consistent actions every day. We often imagine success as the result of big breaks, lucky opportunities, or grand achievements. But if you study those who genuinely make progress, you'll notice a different pattern. They excel because they commit to a series of small, consistent actions. Instead of waiting for inspiration or praying for dramatic breakthroughs, they chip away at their goals, one day at a time. Think of it like planting seeds. A gardener doesn't become disheartened if the plant doesn't sprout instantly. They water it daily, ensuring the soil and sunlight are just right. Over time, the seed grows into a strong, healthy plant. The same logic applies to your personal and professional development. If you read just 10 pages a day, by the end of the year, you'll have consumed the equivalent of dozens of books. If you write a few hundred words daily, you'll produce a substantial body of work over the months. If you spend a short interval each day practicing a new skill, be it learning a language, honing a craft, or mastering a particular software, you'll gradually become more competent than most who dabble without consistency. These small actions might feel insignificant at first. They don't bring immediate glory or recognition. But as the days accumulate, their impact becomes undeniable. These quiet victories build discipline, foster resilience, and reinforce the belief that you are in control of your own progress. Day by day, you're not just inching toward your goals. You're transforming into the kind of person who naturally achieves them. Habit 3, limit distractions and protect your focus. If there's one resource more precious than money, it's your attention. We're living in a time when countless apps, platforms, and devices are designed to steal your focus. Notifications ping relentlessly. Screens beckon you with infinite entertainment and trivial information. Social media algorithms learn what keeps you scrolling and feed it to you nonstop. Before you know it, hours evaporate, leaving you feeling drained and unaccomplished. To change your life, you need to reclaim your attention. This means setting boundaries and being ruthless about what gets access to your mind. Start by turning off non-essential notifications. Do you really need to know every time someone likes a post or sends a meme? Decide on specific times to check emails and messages rather than being at their beck and call. Schedule periods of deep, uninterrupted work, just 30 minutes or an hour at a time. When you silence your phone, close unnecessary browser tabs, and immerse yourself fully in the task at hand. Recognize that every distraction you entertain costs you valuable time and mental energy. The more you guard your focus, the more momentum you create in pursuing your goals. And here's a secret. When you learn to operate without constant distraction, you become more productive, more creative, and more satisfied. You'll accomplish in a single hour what used to take 3 or 4 scattered hours. This efficiency frees up more time for the things that truly matter: quality relationships, personal growth activities, and self-care. Habit 4, reflect and adjust regularly. No plan is perfect. No strategy remains flawless in execution. The journey to your best self will always be a work in progress. That's why it's critical to set aside time every week, or at least every month, to review where you stand. Are you still honoring that one habit you started with? Have you been consistent in taking small daily actions? Are distractions creeping back into your life? Take a few moments to reflect honestly on your progress. If you find that something isn't working as intended, don't beat yourself up. Adjust the approach. Maybe you need to experiment with a different morning routine. Perhaps you discovered that working in the evening suits you better than working at dawn. It could be that your reading habit needs to shift from morning to lunchtime due to changes in your schedule. Reflection isn't about highlighting failures. It's about learning from them. Each adjustment refines your path, making it more aligned with your personal rhythms and goals. Over time, this practice builds adaptability, a crucial trait for thriving in a fast-changing world. Instead of quitting at the first sign of difficulty, you'll learn to pivot gracefully, maintaining your forward momentum. Habit 5, celebrate small wins to maintain motivation. All this effort would be much harder without rewards along the way. Humans crave progress and validation. If you never acknowledge your improvements, you risk feeling discouraged, even if you're moving in the right direction. That's why celebrating small wins is so important. A small win can be completing a week straight of your chosen habit, finishing a challenging chapter in a book, or resisting a distraction that used to derail you. It might be a subtle shift in your mindset. You felt tempted to skip your daily habit, but you followed through anyway. Recognize these victories. They might seem minor, but they represent growth. Celebrating them can be as simple as giving yourself a sincere pat on the back, marking your accomplishment in a journal, or sharing the news with a friend who supports your journey. These celebrations serve as fuel for your motivation. They remind you that you're capable of change, and that each step you take, no matter how small, is moving you closer to the life you want. The more you acknowledge your progress, the more enthusiastic and confident you'll become, creating a positive feedback loop that drives you forward. Integrating the 5 habits into your life. Now that you know the 5 habits, beginning with 1 habit, taking small daily actions, limiting distractions, reflecting and adjusting regularly, and celebrating small wins, it's time to consider how to integrate them effectively. Don't try to master all 5 at once. Start with habit 1. Pick a single manageable habit and introduce it into your daily routine. Maybe it's as simple as writing down 3 main tasks for the day every morning. Stick to this for a week. Notice how it feels. Is it easy to maintain? Does it help you feel more organized? Once you're comfortable, shift your attention to habit 2. Now that you've introduced a consistent activity, focus on making all your essential tasks small and manageable. If your ultimate goal is to write a book, don't get caught up in the idea of finishing it this month. Instead, commit to writing 300 words every day. If your dream is to get fitter, start with a brief walk around the block, rather than a punishing workout regimen you can't sustain. As you incorporate these habits, pay attention to distractions. Habit 3. Identify the top 3 sources that consume your time, whether it's social media, binge-watching TV shows, or endless online browsing. Begin by trimming down one major distraction. Set a limit. 1 hour of social media per day, or only check your email twice daily. Notice the increase in focus and productivity. This newfound attention will help you strengthen the habits you've already set in motion. Next, embrace. Habit 4, reflection and adjustment. At the end of each week, ask yourself, did I keep my habits alive? Am I seeing progress? What felt challenging, and how can I make it easier? Don't hesitate to tweak your routine. If reading in the morning isn't working because you're too groggy, try reading during lunch. If writing late at night isn't productive because you're exhausted, move it to early evening. The key is to adapt rather than abandon your efforts. Finally, practice habit 5. Celebrate every sign of progress. When you've maintained your single new habit for a week, give yourself a nod of appreciation. If you wrote 300 words every day for a month, acknowledge that you've created roughly 9,000 words of content. That's substantial progress. Savor the moment. If you manage to keep your phone in another room during your focused work session, enjoy the sense of accomplishment and mental clarity it brought. Why these habits? Work together. What makes these 5 habits so powerful is how they reinforce one another. Starting with one habit prevents overwhelm and builds early wins. Prioritizing small, consistent actions ensures steady progress over time, turning small steps into giant leaps eventually. Limiting distractions safeguards the precious resource of your attention, enabling you to apply yourself fully to what matters. Reflecting and adjusting keeps you on course even as life circumstances shift. And celebrating small wins fuels your motivation, ensuring you never run dry on encouragement. When combined, these habits form a blueprint for sustainable success. They create a cycle of growth. You start small, build consistency, protect your focus, adapt as you learn, and keep morale high with recognition of your efforts. Rather than relying on fleeting bursts of inspiration, you establish a reliable system that carries you forward, even on days when you don't feel particularly motivated. The potential impact on your life. Imagine the life you could create by truly committing to these 5 habits. Over time, you'd find yourself accomplishing more with less stress. You'd feel greater confidence in your ability to shape your future, stronger determination to overcome challenges, and a deeper sense of purpose in everything you do. The chaos of distractions would recede, leaving more mental space for creativity, empathy, and clear thinking. By regularly reflecting on your journey, you'd constantly refine your methods, accelerating your progress even further. Your personal growth would become evident not only to you, but also to those around you. People might notice you're more disciplined, engaged, and balanced. They might ask how you manage to get so much done or stay so focused. You'll have an answer. You committed to a set of simple, daily habits and nurtured them over time, allowing their cumulative power to reshape your life. Start today, not tomorrow. There's no magic moment to begin. The best time to start implementing these habits is now. Don't wait until next Monday, next month, or next year. Every day you postpone is a day you lose that could have been invested in building a more meaningful, fulfilling life. Choose one habit, just one, before you go to bed tonight, and promise yourself you'll do it tomorrow. When tomorrow comes, follow through. Then do it the next day and the next. This is how transformation unfolds. Not through giant leaps, but through persistent, mindful steps taken one after another. By embracing these 5 habits, you give yourself the tools to navigate the journey of personal growth with clarity, confidence, and resilience. Over time, those small steps accumulate into something truly remarkable. A life shaped by your own deliberate choices, guided by principles that never fail to deliver steady, upward progress.